Evening all, welcome back to Space Engineers, and as you see us here, we're recycling some of our old shit ships. This is a bloody needed thing. This vessel here was a waste of materials and effort and time and everything. So look at that as we dip it into the flames. I like to think of it as that. I know it's not, but I like to think of it as that. We're basically just saying adios to some of these crap vessels, and this comes from the fact that we've done our faction swap over, so we now have a proper faction thingamajig. So I don't know, whichever you call it, we have a proper faction now, which is creating quite an interesting scenario for the game, because it does mean you've got to kind of focus on what you're doing a little bit more, because if you get a rogue block, then God help you. So that's kind of cool. I do like that, the ability to hack vessels. That's pretty awesome. What I'm doing here, as you can see, is I'm just trying to rush and thump this thing into the into the grinder. I give up after a while because it almost kills me. Lol. But there we go. So to be honest, this is something pretty cool about the game that I'm really quite impressed with. Anyway, on to matters. Space Engineers is just getting better and better. I can't believe how much content they are adding to it every week. I mean, today we saw the inclusion of wheels, so we're actually going to start looking at little buggies that maybe we attach to our master vessel and actually go and survey moons and do all that stuff. So it's looking pretty awesome. I've got to admit, I am blown away by this, because there is definitely potential to make this game quite awesome and continue to be awesome. I'm really quite liking the fact that we have a base now as well. I think that has become probably one of the key factors of why this game is so, I guess, engrossing, because we now have this awesome little kind of, big station that we're adding to every day. My only issue I do have is I'm kind of concerned that if you're probably wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually trying to just push this further into the grinders. I know it's moving, you just can't see it. I think one of the key things I'm really quite keen to do with this game is kind of push the limits a little bit more, because I'm really excited to see what more we can maybe do with it. We are going to set up a server for this. This is going to be something that's going to be a new project for the channel. I think with these videos, what we're doing it more of as a magazine style, so it's really just showing you really what we do with the game and blah 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 blah, which is fine. But what I'm keen to maybe do now is we're going to maybe start using some more I guess tricks and stuff. That doesn't explain it very well at all, but let me explain. We're going to use some kind of cool things to really start looking at building a big ship. So for example, we'll actually plan it. So we'll use planning tools like you would to build a building, and we'll use them to maybe build this new thing that we're going to build on our server. So stay tuned, and hopefully you'll see this very soon. It will be a completely new playlist as well, so we'll continue with this one. This is just a general what's going on in Space Engineers, but we'll do something a little bit I guess a bit more structured as a brand new playlist, so look forward to that. But what's interesting, I think, about this one is now that they've done this switch over to the factions, now that there's dedicated servers, and now that they're better supported, I think this game is really coming into its own. I think it's actually getting quite interesting in terms of what you can do with this game now. So I'm getting quite excited. There's a little bit of pain with this switch over. So this Cyclops vessel, which I love, I really loved building this thing because it's so simple yet so bloody useful, but it's just useless. So unfortunately this thing has to die, so we're just going to let it get shot to the end of this video, so keep watching to the end. We're going to just let the guns rip this vessel to pieces, because there's nothing we can do to stop the guns targeting it. I know I should have just logged off and logged back on again and all that. I know that did clear it kind of, but I didn't know at that point, so what can you do? But there we go. So to be honest, this is something really quite impressive as a game coming through. I think if you've not played Space Engineers yet, seriously consider buying it. It is something quite special. You will have hours, days, months of fun with this game, and yes, you'll drop it eventually and you'll come back to it over time, but that's the beauty and that's the sign of a good game, is something that you will always come back to and remember what it was that made it brilliant. So I heartily recommend that you give it a go. To be honest, there's so much here to do as well. I mean, at the moment we've done a very traditional look at the game. So our first thing that we did was build a big capital ship, and that was our SquadB flagship, and that was fun. There's a whole 100 videos of us building that thing, so that's playlist series number 1. Playlist series number 2 is this station, and as you can see, we're adding to it. We're kind of adding more and more stuff to it. And as you can see, this is now becoming quite the focal point of the whole game for us, because that station is amazing fun, and there is just a huge amount you can do with it. So, you know, that's kind of cool as well. And to be honest, this is maybe where the game really has, I think, taken off, is this ability to build something quite incredible. We would love to, and this is why we're doing servers on it, because I think we'd love to see what people could collectively come up with in this game. Our only problem with that would be people would destroy it in seconds, but that's where we'll probably have a whitelist and trusted players and all that. But you know, just stay tuned, and we'll start to give some access to that. We haven't even bought it yet, so we're on our way to do that. So we're leaving like a sacrificial little man, or a little wicker man. If you ever seen the film of the Wicker Man, we're just setting him up to burn him down. And there we go. That's our poor little Cyclops. I'm afraid your services are no longer required, Cyclops. So we're going to blow you to pieces now. And I think this has to be the fun part of the game. We are going to do more of this. I know all we've done at the moment with this game is just build things. And I guarantee you that is about to end, because we're going to start looking at destroying stuff as well. One of the biggest things I have at the moment in the game is we don't have a vessel that we can use to destroy I guess the cargo ships. We don't. I mean, I could take the flagship, but it's quite a big ship for that, and it's kind of overkill. So I think one of the things we're going to start looking at is building, I guess, a medium-sized destroyer. So smaller than the flagship by quite a way, but certainly a destroyer that's capable pretty much of taking. It'll all be heavy blocks, heavy armor, etc., etc. And the idea is it will disable the cargo ships and then drag them, clamp onto them and drag them back to the base, where we can basically just strip them of their parts, and I'm quite looking forward to that. So we go, much like setting up a bonfire with a Guy Fawkes on the top of it. We're getting ready to say goodbye to poor little Cyclops. But then again, you know, I'm not going to mess about forever with these bloody things, so let's just enjoy this ship being destroyed. Look at that. Look at how quickly he's being annihilated. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? R.I.P. Cyclops, you were a shit vessel, you were useless, and you're of no use whatsoever. Goodbye. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Keep watching, stay tuned, there's plenty more to come. We're going to start looking at some of the new content in a bit more depth. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.